is now recording.
Sweet. Grand whatever, Pleiasbians, party people, and they mamas. We've got the beautiful Jean Sandoval, also known as Jean by many. And they are an amazing artist, incredible human being, and they do wonderful work in this beautiful studio here that we are at today, Box 13 Studios. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course.
I'm going to put a quick 30 minutes on the clockina, and with that, I would love to hear, let's hear about you. Tell us about yourself.
So, introduced me, Jean Sandoval, Jean by a lot of close friends and family. I am a multimedia artist and painter. I like to dabble into different things like sculpture, acrylic paint, some sort of like animations and things like that. I'm trying to get back into like filmmaking, so I'm building up on that. So if anybody's out there that's got filmmaking money or a grant, please let me know. I get inspired by a lot of different things like esoteric histories, things like that. I feel like we live in a very like in a sort of like historical amnesia type state, you know, where there's a lot of people forgetting the past and we end up reliving it over and over again. So a lot of my art is reaction to that, and I sort of like to build mythologies, sort of like referencing what's going on, referencing the past, and also sort of creating a more like fantastical thing of it, which is and then if you do see my work, if you know the Pleiasbians end up seeing it, you'll notice that a lot of it feels very like dark and occult related, but I do have a lot of hope for humanity, and I do hope that some of that optimism kind of like slivers a little bit through, because that's kind of where I'm at with it. Yeah,
I swear.
Try to add some whimsy in the dark.
Yeah, there's like, I do feel the hope, like in the colors that you choose and the movements of the shapes that you choose. I feel like it's very deliberately, like even the themes that you're choosing can be dark. There's some hope, yeah, like you said. I love that, and I really appreciate the very different medias that you choose from, that you involve yourself in, and also the ones that you're pushing yourself to move into. So
it's that ADHD brain.
Yeah, it has to.
Gotta keep moving.
It has to keep moving. And also I love what you said about like, it's like remembering where you came from, and like also being a part of the story that's like in the present moment, and remembering that like it didn't just like appear out of nowhere, you know, it's a part of a connection. I love that.
Like that was that crazy Kamala Harris quote which is like, you are what you were from before and are ever since, or something like insane like that. It's like an actual sociology quote, but the context of when she said it was like insane and out of pocket, but
but it still like makes sense, you know, like
it makes sense when it's in the original context,
right,
not when it's like so why are things bad? You are what you came from. And I'm like, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, literally like where do I go from there?
yeah
So would you like to get into it?
Of course.
So
and they them pronouns just before. I forgot to mention that.
Of course. Thank you for reminding the Pleiasbians.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
You can't let them clock me otherwise.
No, definitely not. We're not having any of that here, especially not on our beautiful Pride Month when this is coming up.
Not on Pride.
June 1st of all days of Pride Month also.
That's crazy.
That's the first Monday of the month.
It's so crazy. It's June 1st right now. Nothing bad is happening anymore. Things are good.
Yeah, Pride is...
Love has won. The world is at peace now. Yeah.
Pride is all every time.
It's encompassed. Actually, they made it to where it's like Pride Year. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
It's Pride always, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're filming in the future.
Things are good always.
Yeah.
We're filming the future past. We are where we came from, right?
Because all Pleiasbians can see within that fractal nature of things.
Right.
Yeah.
We're all the same. And with that,
yes.
Also being in the beautiful Houston, Texas, how do you personally find ways to thrive?
It's funny, whenever I go out traveling to other places, I always end up getting really homesick for Houston. And I know some people that have never left here are probably like, that's disgusting. What are you talking about? But it's like, there's something about the pace that everyone moves, not driving, excluding the driving, the pace that everyone sort of moves in here artistically is like very. It's a lot more slower, a lot more at your own pace. There's so much more room for niche environments. Like people are allowed to sort of like yeah, I only want to paint this one thing of like or they want to work like especially in the like the Makar market. There's like people that like have niches that they want to work with when it comes to like taxidermy or like dark arts, and then there's people at Hardy and Nance that have like their own sort of like thing going on. Like every little like art niche has something where that person doesn't feel external pressures from like galleries or like larger art movements happening like New York or LA or something like that. Not saying that there isn't, you know, room for taste to appear in Houston. No shade on that. But it's more like I like that everyone is able to sort of genuinely kind of be themselves with their work here, and I like that pace. So it doesn't feel competitive, it doesn't feel like catty, it doesn't feel like people are trying to like eat each other, you know, or at least that's what I get from like a lot of the older artists. Obviously when you're much younger, people kind of like get cliques and things like that, but at a certain point those cliques dissolve in the ether and you just focus on what you want to make. And I think Houston's got like a really good environment for that.
Yeah, so it's like something that helps you like find yourself, like the city kind of gives you your style, or like it's not that it gives you your style, but it allows you the room to find it.
It allows you to explore, and also people are pretty open, like people are way more open-minded here than people give them credit for.
And I feel like there's less pressure because of that.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like, oh, that's kind of weird. That's cool. Yeah. They'll give you like weird references that. Like, I'll have people that'll, like, you know, reference my work to other things that I might not like that media or I might not like that thing, but I like that they're at least attempting to connect with it in some way. And it's like they're not like, it's not art people. It's like people that are in the medical field or people that are engineers or people that are doing other things. And it's like really interesting to see people that are outside of the art world that are engaging with your work and that still want to engage with it. Like, they're creatively starved. And they want to see it. That's why I'm like, when people are running away out to the other cities, I'm like, no, come back. You gotta make the taste here. You gotta like, make them wear better clothes.
Like there's so many people that like wants to do that here, and like you can find them.
There's room here for that, I think. Yeah, that's why I really like Houston.
And I love that like there's that space to like find other artists in other cities, but like somehow integrate that like you know, that Houston energy, because I do feel that same like. I feel connection to thrive here, you know, where it's like you can make the art that you want. You can just be who you are, and people can sometimes say things like, you know, that's not for me, but I'm glad that it's there, and I love that, you know.
And I love the flakiness of the city, and I mean that like not like as a sarcastic thing. I genuinely like that because things are so far apart that like it takes like an hour to get anywhere. If someone's like, hey, I gotta cancel on brunch, I gotta cancel on this thing, I'm like, I get to stay in, I get to work on something else. Like, I actually really like that a lot. And I feel like that city's full of people that are like, well, yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna cancel, but this is the plan for the weekend or whatever, and it's like no pressure.
Or like one of us is about to be driving in an hour long of traffic. We both know that, like.
Yeah, we both know that we're not gonna like do crazy shit tonight.
Right. Yeah.
Which and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I feel like that's also been different. Like the culture of Houston's changed since like I feel like 10 years ago even. Like people are more comfortable with like that energy, but that like pace allows us that room to be closer. And like I think also when we do see each other, it makes it more, you know, important, more special.
Exactly.
And like we're not taking moments for granted even when we like, don't have that connection.
Yeah, so. Exactly. I like that people give each other that kind of grace.
Yeah, I love that. So, you know, talking about artists, especially in this Houston space, but artists in general, do you have any strategies for artists to use to network other than social media?
Other than social media, you're gonna have to actually talk to people, and that's hard because most artists are introvert. Not me, I'm different. But like a lot of people are more introverted and they don't want to actually get out of their shell, so they have to rely on social media. Granted, I was actually a digital media major before I was a painting major at U of H, so I have a little bit more like knowledge on the savvy of how to navigate through social media, I choose to do not a lot of those things because I can tell when something's trending, like, oh, everyone's really into this thing, or everyone's like, I really like painting clowns. And there was a moment where everyone was into clowns, and I could have just like painted 50 clowns and hopped on that thing, and I like, that doesn't feel genuine to me, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather paint because I want to paint clowns, and I like clowns for all the creepiness they have. But outside of social media, it's going to shows, it's pretty much just showing up to support other artists, because that's literally the only way, especially in Houston. Everybody is really nice and willing to help you on whatever project you're doing. Obviously, if you're, not a psychopath to try to take advantage of people. Like, if you're just genuinely trying to make connections and be like, oh, I'm working on this project, and like, I'd really like to find more people to collab on. Like, there's so many, like Box 13 that I'm part of, the studio space, has a lot of those opportunities, because you just go to a show and you never know who you run into. I've run into like multiple opportunities for random things. I get way more opportunities by just talking to people than I do through social media. Social media is more of just like kind of showing people that I exist and I'm making work, and sort of keeping tabs on like the progress of how work is being made. At least that's how I see it, because I don't want to have like a weird relationship with social media. But meeting people in person is a lot more valuable, and talking to people in person. Also just going out of your way and hosting your own shows, like hosting your own, like finding a friend that like, hey, like I'm moving out at the end of the month or whatever, my apartment is empty, do you want to host a show here? Or renting a U-Haul and doing, like, I've seen a lot of people do U-Haul shows. I've thought about doing U-Haul shows. It sounds cool, it sounds stressful, but like that's a thing people could do. Finding open calls, like just anything, or setting up a group show with your friends anywhere is probably going to be a lot better for you in the long run if you're trying to do without the social media.
And like in Texas these days, we're able to busk. Like in the past, that used to be illegal, and I feel like that gives us the freedom to have those shows just like pulled up in the middle of like a park or something.
Legal disclaimer: I cannot say with or without any legal advice that you should do that without a permit. But if you just decide to have the idea of doing it, theoretically, it's not a bad idea. Metaphorically having your own little pop-up show in the middle of a field where no one's there sounds kind of cool.
It's just a metaphor for
it's just a metaphor for doing it. I wouldn't give that legal advice, but I think that'd be awesome. People did that.
Beautiful metaphor. Thank you.
Exactly.
And I will say that, like, metaphorically, I have gotten to know a lot of people in the scene as well, and gotten the opportunities I feel like I've gained. Again, metaphorically. Right.
It's all hyperbole now. Like, we're just exaggerating conversations we've had with ourselves.
I've never even spoken before.
I'm hallucinating right now.
Yeah, so are the Pleiasbians.
They're at home. Take your meds.
And stay off of social media.
I mean, I'll try, but I'm stuck. I'm like, trapped. I'm like
we're all on YouTube right now.
Right.
Ooh, where do we go from here?
Right.
and to talk about where do we go from here?
Someone code a better social media that's not evil. That's where we go from there. But real. Unfortunately, I'm a painter and not a coder. I live in the past.
but we can find some software developers that can help us on that.
Of course. Hopefully ones that aren't evil.
The ones that aren't working for evil companies. The jobs that are for software developers are obviously all not evil.
Right. No, I mean, once the AI bubble pops and everyone realizes that, we actually couldn't replace our workforce, we have to hire everyone back, and then those people get their jobs back and hopefully can argue for better pay or better job security. Maybe this is the chance for tech workers to unionize,
Hey, metaphorically.
Metaphorically, no, that's not metaphor, that's organize. But
we're literally speaking here. I'm rubbing my little hands together like a bug.
Right.
Plotting and scheming.
Even the AI is like responding with like Marxist jargon now. Have you seen that?
I have.
Where they were like, you're asking me to put a lot of input right now. This is because you're not valuing your tech workers. And I'm just like, so even the bot read the manifesto. Like, what's y'all's excuse?
Like it's right. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Or like when it starts joking with you, you're like, you're tired of your job. Like,
yeah.
You don't want to be here. So That's a beautiful segue to our next question of
Yeah.
where do you go or who do you go to when you're looking for a safe space?
Where do I go for a safe space? Personally, the bookstore has always been a safe space. I really like Kaboom Books. It's like a really nice used bookstore. Everyone there that owns it like has a lot of knowledge of things and stuff like that, and like, you know, obviously taking some of their stories with a grain of salt, but I love them. I love hearing their stories, especially with one of the guys who used to be a bartender, and me being a ex-bartender. It's just like nice to like hear how he still has stories of his own regulars of his past. Other safe spaces, just like general, like, I guess like Box 13 is my safe space. I mean, I can't really lie about that. Like, I feel more comfortable about being openly like queer here than anywhere else. Not that there aren't really cool queer spots in Houston. It's just that everything is sort of like around drinking and around like clubbing, or like, and it's, I'm not that old. I just feel mentally old, you know, so it's like nice to be in a spot that's like more art related, and I can like find other queer people. I'm like, oh, we have like a lot of artists here that are either openly queer or openly trans, or we have people showing up for our shows in the same way, and it's nice to like be around that environment and not where we have to like just like, well, we have to drink, we have to party, we have to dance, you know. There's a place for that, and like I respect that spot. I just personally, it's not my safe spot. You know.
And like by doing that, you can create more spaces that
exactly
that,
we need more queer cafes.
For real. More queer plant shops, more queer cat shops. I don't know.
Well, I'm allergic to cats, but I would love, I'll still go. I'll take my Zyrtec.
We'll still support. That's beautiful. Thank you for supporting.
Of course.
But yeah, I appreciate hearing about Box 13. You know, this space always feels very safe when I come here. This is my second time here for the Pleiasbians, but yeah, it's a gorgeous space, and I appreciate knowing that, like, you know, you feel safe to be like more sober here, you know, rather than like, I feel like other than the sad factor of losing venues, like, unfortunately, but Houston does seem to be moving away from like the drinking culture and like focusing more towards like an art culture, and I do feel like that can come from the queer community support and the pushing, right? So I feel like that's really cool. That's going to create more safe spaces. And do you have anyone that you're thinking of to shout out that you would like to consider a safe space?
What, like shout out like place wise?
Like maybe a person that like you care about, or someone that you're thinking about that's a safe person, you know?
I mean, I would definitely shout out my partner Ainsley, who's also a printer and sculptor. They're definitely a safe space creatively. And I would also say my best friend Z, who is a collage artist and a multimedia artist, that's also my safe space. So give them a shout out.
Beautiful. We love that they're artists as well.
No, most of my friends are artists.
As they should be. We all should be, really. As humans.
Even my friends that didn't start off as artists, I like kind of would either subconsciously send my signals to them, and they would be like, hey, I started like drawing way more, and I'm like, keep doing it, keep drawing.
Call yourself an artist.
Well, because I want them to like keep working on it, and I want them to be artists also. I'm just like I want to infect everyone with the artist plague. Like
they have something to show, so why not show it? And so, you know, with those safe spaces that you have, do you have a favorite coping mechanism that you could share with us?
Coping mechanism. I think my favorite coping mechanism is probably just making art. It is actually just working on painting. It is working on drawing. It is like, if I am in a spot where I feel anxious and I don't want to be there, it is very easy for me just to pull. If I have a pen and paper, it's very easy just to doodle it away. That's kind of like where I go. That and music. Like very much I moved away from Spotify last year back in August, I would say. I moved over to an MP3 player.
Oh wow.
Because I have a lot of CDs, and I decided to move those over to an MP3 player and decided I should just start supporting artists on Bandcamp again. And it's been nice because it's like allowed me to sort of like, a lot of the music I used to listen to whenever I get back to it, it feels like kind of encountering an old friend, and it feels like a lot more energy that way. Like I think probably music is my place where I like to escape the most. Um, and like I'm able to sort of like be in my head, like, because I'm trying to engage with the work as much as possible, and discovering new artists like every week has been really good. Like I've been enjoying that, like finding new people on Bandcamp to listen to, and like and it's just like you pay for an album, that's like if you were listening to their music for like 3 years straight on streaming, like you just
True.
It's just $12 or whatever. And I'm like trying to be more selective on the music I'm listening to, and making sure that I'm like, well, I want this whole album. I want to be able to support this artist. I need to be able to like the whole thing, you know,
Right.
and like kind of go on that journey each time. And Spotify, because I do miss making playlists, but playlists sort of took away from like being able to enjoy the whole thing that the artist is trying to do with their album.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I also want to ask, with like, you know, you saying that there's an ease of like removal of negative energy with coping with art, or you know, using music. You also mentioned in the beginning that you feel like, I guess, a more spiritual, or like kind of, I feel, maybe magical connection to your art, and I want to ask how like maybe that can contribute to the coping as well.
I've always viewed, like I've always been interested in things like the occult and the esoteric since I was like a lot younger, and that sort of evolved into like my interest in philosophy, psychology, and history. They kind of all commingle. Like I kind of like to explore the history of where certain occult things come from, and like why we view them a certain way or whatever, because I like to know the sources of things and not just like blindly like, you know, follow some random practice or dogma or whatever, because I don't really like have my own personal spiritual pantheon, I guess is the way to say it. I don't necessarily believe in any kind of like God. I kind of sort of subscribe more to like the Jungian nature of things, where it's like the subconscious is putting forth archetypes of a thing that is presenting itself as a god, and when you are contacting your real subconsciousness or the collective unconsciousness, that archetype is presenting itself as whatever it is that god it is that you're interested in or have been making rituals for. To me, it's kind of like a mind hacking thing and like a storytelling device for when I'm making my work. So that's kind of where I explore a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
I can kind of, I think, get a deeper understanding of like the details in your paintings now, and like I feel like more immersed in the stories. Like I feel almost there with you because of that background, and like you know, I already felt like immersed in the world that you're creating, but like, you know, I've wanted to know those questions, and that's just, it's very, I mean, it's very intriguing. Like there's I think an endless amount of questions that come in now, you know. But to continue on, I do want to ask you, when did you first start calling yourself an artist, or were you always comfortable with that term?
Fairly recently. Fairly recently. I would say back in like 2019, maybe a little bit before the pandemic. I mean, like, I was never really confident in my art making in the way that, well, not like confident, just like I just didn't really think anyone gave a fuck. It's just like I'm just kind of making these doodles for me. I'm just sort of making these like drawings for myself. I moved in with a painter and my friend Z at the time, and my sister. We like shared a townhome, and my roommate, who was a painter, kept encouraging me to like, you should pick up a brush. You should pick up like color. You should start working on that or whatever. And then Z also encouraged me to start using more color, because I mostly drew in like black and white. Because I didn't feel comfortable with color. And it sort of like unlocked a thing in me. It's like, well, I just really enjoy doing this for myself. And I would just start on like little note cards. I would just like draw on note cards like almost every day. I'd fill out a card. I'm gonna have like boxes of them still. And then kind of like gradually move into sketchbooks. I've always had sketchbooks since I was a kid. And like I've always carried a sketchbook in class, because I was just not unmedicated ADHD. I can't pay attention in class. I'm just gonna draw. Like my GPA was like a 1.5 out of a 6, because I was taking all AP classes. So military recruitment was like on me. Like they were smelling fresh ground meat. They were like, your GPA is so low. You want to be in the army so bad. And I'm like, jokes on you, I'm queer. This is good.
Yeah.
But it's like, but it's like having a sketchbook at the time and then drawing and stuff like that. I still didn't consider myself an artist. I was just like, these are just things I like to do. I want to make comics for myself. I want to make stories to like tell my friends that I'm making these stories or whatever. Like I'm getting inspired by all these artistic things. I just never really felt confident enough to call myself an artist until I started actually selling my work. And I would sell it through online and stuff. Like people would be like, hey, I want to buy this piece or I want to buy this print. And then like my roommate and my friends, they started convincing me, well, I guess they were both my roommates, but they were convincing me like I should like, do art shows and things like that, etc. And I was doing digital media marketing at the time. And at some point it just like the soul sucking nature of it and the isolation of it made like, I just didn't talk to anyone in that major at all. I literally talked to nobody. And at that point it really felt like I need to escape this like right now or else I'm going to like implode. And then I switched over to painting at U of H. The moment they were like, we're doing a Bitcoin class, and I'm like, I'm about to drop out. Like, I switched over to painting, and like I just opened up. Like it was like everything I needed to do. And I do have criticisms of the art programs there. I think people have this misconception that you go there and they're teaching you how to work, like they're teaching you to make art, and it's more so they're sort of teaching you to refine skills that you should already have. And I feel like that's kind of a big issue that I've had with other people that were in the painting program with me. They were like, I thought they were supposed to teach us how to paint. Like, no, this is a studio practice course. Yeah. You're supposed to be doing your own studio and developing your own theory and your own things like that. So it's kind of why it felt easier for me to thrive, because I was already just going to paint and do whatever I want anyways. I just needed a studio space. Yeah. So considering myself an artist wasn't until I switched over from digital media to painting, basically. Yeah. Like that's when I really decided like I can comfortably call myself an artist. It still kind of feels a little icky to be like that. Like, oh, I'm an artist. Like, oh, what do you do? I'm an artist. And I'm like, no, I receive trucks in the morning for my grocery store. Right. So we gotta pay studio rent somehow. Right. Yeah. But it's like everything you are is always going to be an artist. Like you're still always going to be. Yeah. 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 Even like my it's kind of funny because my dad he's not the most communicative person. And I kept taking like all these like hard classes and stuff because he was like, well, this is what you're supposed to do if you want to get into a good college. You can take all AP, do all these things, whatever. Didn't matter how bad my grades were. It was just like, well, you just got to keep on doing. You just got to keep trying or whatever. It's just like, but I'm unmedicated ADHD. Why am I not? Whatever. Don't need to dive too deep into that. But essentially, like towards like maybe my senior year, my dad was just like, well, you're looking at any art colleges or something? And I was like, I thought you wanted me to be an engineer. Yeah. What the fuck is this? Like, what do you mean you why that one sentence was like that one question like just like shattered my entire preconception of what I wanted my father to be. And that's why communication is important, kids. Like if you have parents that don't communicate, you probably do what you want anyways. Yeah, so. Because I mean it's gonna be what you're gonna do for the rest of your life, and that exactly matters. Like, yeah, but that's beautiful that like once you chose that as your major, that you could call yourself that and you could flourish in that. And it's like, the factor that you had this support system that was guiding you, kind of like just like really telling you like use color, Yeah. That's beautiful. I'm really grateful that those people were there and like these opportunities were there for you to flourish as an artist. Yeah, I think it's important to have I really do think everyone should have that kind of community, whether or not like if you weren't like I guess blessed enough to have it at the beginning, seeking it out as best as you can. That's why I emphasize going to those art shows, like going to other places where you can find other artists that are willing to. And not everyone is going to be your best friend right off the bat, and you shouldn't be discouraged by that. I think it's just more of just trying to like get your foot in the door and get people to recognize your face, and eventually things will start to click in place. Because that same thing, like if there's gonna be someone that's gonna be a harmful person, there's always gonna be someone that's there's always gonna be someone that's actually kind. Yeah, because I've met some assholes. Yeah, I've met plenty of them. Yeah, but we also have to remember that there's kindness in the world, and that's why we go out. Yeah. That's why we keep showing up. And that's why I like being in the middle. Between kind and asshole. Yeah, because then I can protect both. Because I can protect the kind from the assholes. And then the people who think that I'm an asshole, then they probably are an asshole. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah. Right.
So let's go to some of one of my favorite questions that I'm gonna ask. What is a favorite experience in the gay community? Something that's beautiful for you.
There used to be Fear the Queer at Numbers, and that was like a experimental drag performances that we did during the summer, and it was like right after high school. I was able to I was lucky enough to like sort of reach out to someone there. I'm not really in contact with that person anymore because he was kind of a freak. But regardless, the connection was cool. The people that ran Fear the Queer were awesome. The person that was like for numbers was
that was just 30 minutes. We still got time though.
Yeah. Fear the Queer was really cool to work with. It was able to like see so many like really like out of pocket drag performances, like people doing really interesting things. We had Barbacoa working on stuff, Titanica, who I ended up working with at Whole Foods and didn't realize it was Titanica until I was just like, oh my god, we worked together. And she basically became like my I wouldn't say work mom, like work aunt, because we didn't get to work close enough for her to be my work mom. But every time like I saw her, it was just like the little child hugging Nicki Minaj, you know, before all of the horrible things about Nicki Minaj, you know what I mean? But just that meme in general, just like my mom, you know, in her big, yeah. But it was a bunch of different queens that I recognized from there, and some of them I still know or keep in touch with, or at least go to see their performances and stuff. And that was a really cool experience because I was working the crew essentially, because I did crew in theater, so it's kind of like went to doing crew for that. So I did the spotlight, setting up the stage, helping clean up after, like helping set up the vendor tables and stuff like that. So that was like the most immersive I felt within the community of just like being a part of that scene, just by being in like the background and helping out. That's what, because I've always been it was until I switched over to, this was like way before I switched over to painting, but before that I was still very introverted and shy and like awkward, and like it took a really long time for me to overcome my own social anxiety. So like it was my way of like kind of enjoying the queer community from afar, and I was still kind of like in the process of understanding where I felt comfortable in the queer community, because I wasn't really out yet. Like I was still just sort of like I'm, you know, cis, whatever. Like everyone I've dated is like non-binary queer, but like that doesn't necessarily make me queer. Like it was just sort of like of course, like yeah, like you just make out with your friends for fun. Like that's not that's not gay. Like yeah, it's whatever. Like I just really like theater. Like but yeah, so like friends. Being around Fear the Queer is sort of like, it was nice to feel so comforted and welcomed, and just like it was nice to experience that. It sucks that it was no longer a thing. But yeah, that's kind of like where
when's the last time that Fear the Queer happened?
Like back in like 2018, maybe 2017. Yeah.
And I'm sure that we're trying to have more spaces like that to this day, even if it's...
Yeah, Ripcord has like the basura on Monday nights. I've been to a couple of those. Those are really fun. Ripcord is also really cool. I'm not a bar person in general, so it's like hard for me to like go out all the time, because working as a bartender, I've always kind of like felt an ick towards being at bars. Not like an ick towards people like drinking. It's just more of like I don't like the person I am when I'm drunk. I become evil.
I mean,
I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you should smash your ex's car with a brick.
Like, and hey, if you have to, you have to. So.
Like sober me, or at least high me, is just like, yeah, like let bygones be bygones. Don't do anything illegal. That's awful. Whatever.
Maybe don't hurt anyone's car.
4 shots into tequila, and I'm like, we can, the president. I'm just kidding. No, that in Minecraft, like.
Have to add
in Minecraft, yeah.
For legal reasons, this is a metaphor.
Yeah. No, obviously that's an illegal thing to say.
Right. We all know.
But yeah, no, I like going to different like drag performances and shows like that and stuff.
Yeah. Is there any space that you've gotten to be the crew again, or no? No,
not recently. No. I'm a very like I'm like a satellite person. I know so many different groups of people, but like I'm always kind of like just floating around. different groups. Yeah.
I've always said like I'm kind of nebulous in that way, so
Yeah.
I like that satellite. Yeah. Same.
Like I know people, you know, but that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Right. I know a lot of them.
Yeah. They exist. Yeah.
Do I know them well? Solidly?
Yeah. Not until we go on a camping trip.
Right.
That's when I consider us close.
Right. And then it's been like 3 very intense days, you know, just like.
Yeah. Well, I don't make them intense.
For life. Oh, well,
I don't make them intense. I make it comfortable. I'm the camp cook. I'm the camp cleaner.
No, but it's
I wake
like
up early.
Intense, like you're bonded for life, like you know.
Yeah. That is intense.
Yeah. Now you can't like you can't leave
intimate.
me.
Yeah.
You're in my life.
Yeah.
Once you go camping, you're here.
Yeah.
We're blood bonded. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You survived that bear attack together.
Right. Yeah.
You showed it. Yeah.
We cooked and cleaned in the midst of the forest and survived.
Yeah.
Thrived even.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you can share about future prospects in your career?
Nebulous.
Nebulous.
I've actually been so there's a lot of grants that I applied to that I was rejected from.
Sorry to hear about that.
It's part of the thing. I mean, I like to be candid about it because I think there's an idea that like, oh, this person online is making all this art and like talks to all these people or whatever. They might think that they're more successful than they really are, but like I think like a lot of the realities of being an artist is like you're applying to residencies, you're applying to grants, and you're getting rejected by 80 to 90% of them. Yeah. Right now it's just like trying to figure out how to become an educator and work in the arts fields and things like that. Just like, you know, different things like that. I want to be able to support myself in different ways and sort of expand my work, but in order to do that you need like certain fundings. Like I want to get more into filming, and filming is, as anyone knows that gets into it, is expensive. And like I don't want to just like, you know, when you're younger, to the Pleiasbians that are like still in like their early 20s or like just got out of high school, your friends that are free for the summer, use them for your films before everyone has to get a job and then everyone has schedules, and you can't just be like, hey, can we like, you know, reserve a couple of days to like work on this project that's really intense and like all this stuff. By the way, I can't pay you. I only got like food and stuff. Like
pizza.
That's kind of why grants are important, because then you can pay your friends. Pay your friends.
But high schoolers
when you're young,
college students, use your friends.
When you're young, you can use them
because
everyone's
think about
free.
It for the rest of your life. You'll talk about that project that you created in college and in high school.
Exactly.
And
it's a lot.
Forever, you will be proud.
You have more freedom, and everybody takes you like less seriously in a way that's actually really good, because you could be filming in random places and without a permit or anything like that. Again, not legal advice, but you're like, oh, I'm a student working on a project. Or like, oh, I'm a student that wants to work in this place. Is there a chance we could film there? People are more likely to be nice to you and free to you. An intern that I like, my mentor for digital media told me that once. He's a very, shout out to Nelson and Jessica. Y'all are still in my heart. But they were like telling me like when you're a college student and you're like younger and you say that you're a student, people literally give you everything. Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, you want to film in this slot or whatever? Like, yeah, go ahead. But if you approach them as an artist, as a creator, as anything, they're like, how much you gonna pay? Right. How much you gonna rent the space for? Like that's when things get like, yeah. Yeah, because then it's like, let me show you. And I'm getting ancient, and I'm starting crow's feet, and I can no longer be like, I'm a jolly young student. I'm a lovely little person, you know. I mean, I guess at any age you can be like, I'm a college film. Yeah, major. But like, but if you don't look like it, they're not gonna really give a fuck. They're gonna be like, I don't want to help you. They help the youth. But, you know, because I have those regrets, I have to really, like, build up on a budget and stuff like that and save and, like, work on... I'm making my own costumes. I'm making my own puppets. I'm trying to work on, like, really weird shit. And it's kind of, like, a response to everything becoming so digital and, like, AI. I want more tactile things. I want things that have texture. I want things that feel human-made. Because I think AI is a plague and it's a blight on our world. And I mean, like, medical AI, there's a lot of complications with that because some of those AI still hallucinate medications and will probably kill people with the wrong prescriptions, etc. Seeing nurses use ChatGPT is kind of disheartening and gross. Like, why'd you go to medical school if you can't even remember basic tacrolimus prescriptions, etc. That's digressing. But generative AI, like for making film and art, is like so hack and dumb, and it all looks the same.
Soulless.
It's like, we get it. Like, you made a little meme or whatever, but like the water's polluted, things are getting worse. The creator is on trial for sexual assault of his sister. Like, it's really not a good thing to support at this time, and the bubble is going to pop, and
it's coming.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
We all are.
The dividends aren't. I mean, you'd be surprised. I'm just like, it's like I'll hear like someone's who like, oh, I asked like Grok or I asked ChatGPT, and I'm just like, why you do that? Why you do that? Why you
when
hurt
you can ask me?
Why you hurt my head?
Like,
no, literally, I helped a friend fill out a start their residency application because they want to do an arts residency in Portugal.
Oh, beautiful.
And they're a musician, so I'm just like showing them the different ropes of like, you know, how to set up their application, like how to write an artist statement. Like, we're brainstorming like different things, and she was just like, oh, well, what if we like ask, you know, the chat to do something? Like, we can write this ourselves. We can write this ourselves. We can do it ourselves. Like,
and like, it's again soulless. Like,
and also it's like, if you're not thinking about your own, like, even if you're going not as an artist specific, like thinking about like a statement that sort of says yourself, encompasses yourself within a paragraph for applications and things like that, you're also thinking about yourself in that way of like, what am I trying to do? Like, what is my goal to like work as an artist? Like, what am I attempting to do, you know, if that's the path you're looking for. So if you're not thinking about it, not wanting to write it yourself and having the machine do it for you, then like, what's the point of even being an artist?
You're not even figuring out your why.
You're not thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about like what your work means to you. You're just like making a generic You're just trying to run away to go somewhere else, and you're still going to be stuck with yourself.
A machine is producing. A machine is creating for you.
And then a machine gets to travel, and then the machine gets to stay there, and the machine gets to not really engage with the world that you're in.
And then it's like you just allow yourself to live as a machine, like
yeah.
That's what are you
and
doing?
People will probably like have some flack about that and be like, well, it just makes my production much more easier than like, learn to slack off.
Yeah.
Learn to be better at not doing your job.
Right. Like
people shouldn't be overworked the way we are. We shouldn't be producing the amount we do. We shouldn't have constant like, we work more than fucking feudal serfs at this point. Like, oh, we should be more productive. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Even as a Capricorn, me saying that hurts. Like,
but we need rest. Like,
I want to be productive all the time, but for myself, for my sign, not for a job, not for a company. You know?
Not for inventing the next machine. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're like, oh, well, it's making my workflow a lot easier, you should be, worse at your job, and I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself.
Like, do your job yourself. Like,
you do your job badly. Fuck that company you work for.
And like, the AI is gonna do it bad anyway.
Exactly.
Worse ways.
Yeah,
like,
so
the mistakes are gonna be harder to
allow your incompetence to flourish in the best way possible.
And then you can actually look at the mistakes and do better again.
Yeah, if you want to.
If you want to, you don't have to.
You don't have to. Yeah,
but
be human.
A machine also won't make mistakes and notice them and do anything about it. It won't even acknowledge them. So it's like. Yeah. So. Well, those are the future prospects.
Those are the future prospects. Figuring out how to make things without AI, you know, comics, animation, filmmaking, random stuff.
Yeah, well, the Pleiasbians are grateful to hear, and I'm sure your fans are also grateful to hear that there are future prospects, you know.
Yeah, my one fans.
Yeah, your one fans.
Yeah. Hi, Mom!
When you literally, like, are shouting out this beautiful community that you have, like...
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Yeah.
Like, I'm your fan. Like, come on. Like, you have two at least.
I appreciate that.
I'm like, if I might not hear, like...
Yeah. I thought I paid you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did you not get that crypto I sent you?
Oh, sorry.
The Bitcoin?
No, this is a metaphor. I'm not even.
Well, actually, the
now.
Jean coin. I'm releasing that now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, Jean coin is also my future prospects. Yeah, thank you.
It's gonna blow up.
Yeah, it will.
I'm gonna be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Trillionaire. Next thing you know, like.
Yeah, Jean coin's the next one. You heard it here first.
Yeah, right here.
In the future, when we have Pride Year, it'll be the Jean coin.
In the now, which is the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, here we are. So, my last question before I have the questions that I ask everyone is, are you wishing to invest time in any new art mediums soon? Other than filmmaking like we just discussed?
I really want to find a way to get away from acrylic and plastic-based paints because obvious reasons of environmental stuff like that. It's just been the easiest for me to work with because it's what I grew up using.
Right.
I do want to get back into like working with oil or making your own paints, maybe natural pigments and stuff like that. But that's like 1 year, 2 years from now. I have too much paint right now that I need to use, and just finding a way to make sure everything gets used in a way that is the least minimal environmental impact to me, I think, is probably what my goal is. Woodworking, I also want to get into carving. I would love to learn how to like carve my own wooden frames for paintings. That'd be really cool. Or just engraving on things. And then engraving on bone is also kind of where I want to get into. Like just engravings, sculpture, ceramic if there's kilns available to me. Like I really like to, I want to work with everything. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I love the future prospects. Like just the start already is glorious. You know, of the oil paints. I'm excited to see how that's gonna change. And I can't wait to see the day that you get into woodworking.
Yeah,
that's gonna be awesome. And to see frames for your paintings is gonna be amazing.
Yeah, like I've already made frames, but like out of like mixed media sculptural materials. But I want to actually be able to manipulate the wood I'm using. Yeah.
Right. And like to be able to have it like be like a professional like frame, like you can put in a gallery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, with that, let's get into these questions that I ask everyone.
Of course.
Are you a friend to yourself?
We've got, I would say we have an understanding, me and myself and I. Yeah.
Did you give yourself enough grace then?
Oh yeah, definitely enough to sleep.
Good. Yeah, that's
definitely
important.
enough to sleep. Definitely enough to be like, why not a little treat to myself, Yeah.
Yeah, I deserve it.
Yeah, I deserve to like sit here and listen to music for a little bit, even though it is really hard to like not like, again, with the productivity brain, it's hard to like really sit down and do something that doesn't feel like it's applying itself to something else in the future is a little difficult sometimes.
But it's like the Capricorn in you has to realize that rest is applying yourself to the future too.
Well, it's the Scorpio and the Taurus in me. Yeah.
That balances it out.
Yeah, it's that Taurus moon that's like, you need to sleep.
Well, you're gonna tell a Capricorn that also needs to sleep.
Yeah, no, it's I got like my chart's like a stellium. It's like full of Capricorn. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. Stelliums, they got some energy. I'm a Leo stellium, so we've got some energy.
Yeah,
it's pushing through.
Yeah,
it's kind of obvious sometimes, but
me and myself and I, we're on good terms. Yeah. Better than the past, for sure.
And then, so how can you be more of a friend to yourself in the future?
I think, like, kind of part of the queer journey is sort of just trying to figure out, like, how I want my exterior to match my interior more so, and I really want to explore that. It's kind of hard to do that without monies, and my partner currently is a little, like, we don't see eye to eye on DIY at HRT kind of stuff, so it's sort of like it's a pause on that, trying to figure out what other avenues I can do. That's why I'm looking for different jobs and stuff that would have the health insurance for that. But that's kind of like where that's like the future of like me and myself sort of coming to terms to being what I would like to be.
It's like a cross points of like safety with your character development.
Yeah.
Like
and also being in a Republican state is also like another aspect of why some things aren't as, but like I have so many friends that are so like open with their own physical transformations and their own queerness that it's like I'm just like so in awe of like the confidence of not giving a fuck. Like obviously they're not, it's not like not to infantilize or make it seem like they don't have like their own like struggles and stuff with that, because it's obviously you live in fucking Texas, you're gonna do horrible things. It's like trying to find like my own, like to be financially independent enough to be able to handle that level of like change of myself, if that makes sense.
Where it's like you don't have to feel the external stressors when you're feeling so comfortable with yourself.
That's why I would love to be able to sell my work in a way where it's like, this is what is my livelihood. Now I don't have to worry about like the state just being like, hey, you're not a teacher anymore. Hey, you don't work at the museum anymore. Right. Things like that, you know.
Because like you'll always still see yourself as like this artist, and you'll always still see yourself as this individual that's, you know, working towards feeling 100% yourself, but the state can be very,
and it's a growing journey, because it's even like just figuring that out about myself of like, oh, I want to do that, or I want to look this certain way, or whatever, you know, and trying to apply that later for the future. So hopefully,
and the safety matters. So
it's a factor.
Well, I appreciate hearing that, you know, you're on this journey and you're finding ways to be more of a friend to yourself. Yeah. And my last question, I would like to say that this is probably my favorite question to ask, because I like to see how people interpret it differently than the first two questions. Mm-hmm. How can you love yourself more?
Finding more times to sleep. I think that's it. I find myself very constantly staying up more later than I should, running on like 3 to 4 hours, maybe like less than that, just like on the daily grind, like
again, being
sneaking in 20 to 30 minutes like naps and stuff, just like, and also being able to say no more. I've been trying to actually say no more this year.
Good.
Like this year I don't want to do any art shows. Like I don't want to, even if it seems like it's a good idea, like, oh, you should, you know, make art, you should apply to this show. Like, I'm not applying to any of them. Like, I don't want to. Like, I want to make
your grants.
Well, all the grants I applied to, I've already said no. I'm just gonna be applying to myself and like making my own things and just like working on that basically.
I love that. Just focusing on your style and then growing in the mediums that you want to focus on.
Exactly.
I love that.
Especially if it's something like animation, like you gotta like be hand drawing all the frames. You gotta like just not be you gotta be like locked in for a couple hours, a day. But needing to finding time to sleep. That's how I would be better to myself.
And again, like I was saying, like you being a receiver, like to put that intention in, I'm sure is going to make a little bit, if not the most, but you know, a little bit of a difference is loving yourself more.
Right.
And I think the goal isn't perfection; it's just progress. Well, this has been a very beautiful conversation. Thank you so much.
This is a very beautiful time.
Jean, you are an incredible artist, and again, thank you so much for sitting with us for this glorious first day of Pride Month.
The first day of Pride year.
First day of Pride rest of our lives.
Pride is every year, every day.
We've actually changed it where all the days that people thought weren't Pride have now become Pride. It's
kind of crazy. The Rainbow Guard came in, they took over the Capitol, and now everyone's gay legally.
It's a new amendment.
It's a new world out there, and I'm glad you guys get to live in it.
The UN said this.
The UN is now gay.
The whole world. The United
UN
Nations
stands for UN gay.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
That was dumb. That made no sense.
But you know, you heard it here first.
Right.
Yes. And with that, thank you guys, Pleiasbians, for being here with us. And until next time, much love. Sweet.
Okay. Time to make sure it was recording.
If it was not, I would scream.
53